Welcome to what is essentially the first ever video on this channel. Now, this channel is, as you may have guessed, a tutorials channel. However, as you can see, there is a few mods installed. But today, we're going to go a little bit simple. Today, we're going to make a simple little tree. There, in the distance that is currently somehow gone now, we have a tree, right? This tree is a very simple tree from the looks of it. Well, some may say simple, some may say difficult. We're all at different levels. That doesn't matter all that much. Now, before we get started in this tutorial, as you can see, as you can hear actually, my microphone isn't very good. It's actually atrocious. You can hear this, probably can't you? You can definitely hear this, can you? Down below in the description, right, there's a Fiverr link. Now we're not asking much. We're not asking for a lot. We're not asking. We offer the services. They're there. However, they need some traction, right? They need some awareness, which is one of the purposes of the channel. And if you couldn't tell by my microphone, this Fiverr little operation will get me a new one, hopefully. Hopefully. I will not be alone. I will most commonly have my friends here building with me, or even making builds of their own and posting tutorials of it. I will not be the only person on this channel. So, yeah. However, without further ado, please do like and subscribe. It does give me more motivation. And then within the near future, I will post more tutorials that are more complex than the tree. Liking and subscribing, it doesn't impact you at all. However, it impacts me greatly. I love to produce more content for you, but that can only be done if I have the motivation through numbers. Well, without further ado, and that long ass intro, let's get this build started. So, essentially, we have a tree, right? Let's just set up a color palette using the blocks that I commonly previously used in this. Right, let's get some azalea leaves and some leaves. These are basically what you'll be needing today. And you need fences of course. This works in any wood form. However, you will need to alter the leaves a little bit more. This is central to that. Like if you're doing any like whiter, paler leaves, it is very recommended you use the pale leaves over here. And as you can see, that I am using a few texture packs, so this wood does not normally look like that. Alright, so what you want to do is start out by making a shape. Now, this shape can be random, this shape can be anything. This is what you need. You need a tree trunk. It's essentially what you're starting with. And then you can just build it up, and then you can alter it however you want. Let's get some stairs through here. Let's get some spruce stairs. I've had Chihuahua color palette, and let's add them right there. Now, what else I like to do is add these little details every now and then. Something like that. Now, we have a basic stem of the tree. Next, if you have a good CPS, then this will be easy for you. If you don't, then tragic. You have to start normal clicking. However, we basically just do this. We basically just keep doing this. We formulate our little trunks. And you can definitely hear my clicking over me right now. I bet that. And then let's just polish it up. Like here, this is too thick. We'll need to go this way. And then there we go. We have our little... Next, you see these little nice little mud brick walls, right? Boom, boom. We'll just plop them around. Right? Now, let's add some details here. You can see that. We'll go greatly there. And actually, I've been thinking that I want that like that. And that does mean you can add something like this. Let's do that. Now we have a little thicker trunk. Don't have to follow it block by block. Just ensure that you have the concepts so that every tree you make is varied in all sorts of ways, right? So right here, this is not an exact copy of this tree. However, it will look similar, but it means it's more varied. Now let's just add a few more There we go. I think that's enough. Now next, if you have high CPS, here we go. For the second time, start spamming that shit, and it's gonna, because I have Axiom installed, it's gonna overflow. But just start spamming the living shit on every branch that you've made. Now this does look better with this texture pack, which I will be releasing soon. Not even releasing, it's not my texture pack. But yeah. If you're doing this in survival, I pity you greatly. Which is why I encourage the use of schematics. Schematics save your life. Now, let's just roughen this up. Right, so we have the tree, right? Next, you want to get these spruce fences, and then just plop them about. These will basically act as like sticking out branches, but they're like small, they're like twins, you know. And you can always, this always allows us to hang lanterns on over as well. So if you ever want to do that, these are great places to do them. Something like this. And you have a little lantern tree. This helps a lot. However, we're not done. I'm gonna enable this replace tool thing. So you see these azalea leaves? Yeah, we're gonna just plop them around everywhere. We're just gonna kind of mix them into the oak leaves so that we have a sort of, I don't know what to call it. We have a sort of blush. Yeah, of just colors of higher and lower. And I think that should be it. Now, if you are using Axiom, there is this bright thing called the no updates and force blocks. We will need these little things. If you don't have Axiom, you can skip this part. I will get into a bigger tree later on, so please don't skip this part. Keep watching. It gives me watch time, which I need to monetize. Let's get into Axiom. Now we have a built-in. This does come as default. It's literally called grass, but what it does, you see the sphere in the script brush. It comes in once again. Axiom. You just do this, and it makes it so much bushier. Does it not? It makes it so much nicer. And then you can exit out of Axiom, and I'm still on replace mode. Great, lovely. You can come out of Axiom and then just place them underneath, and then it will give you the bushy effect, even if you don't have these bushy leaves. Now, there's your tree. Let's move on to the next one. Yay! Next one is essentially, we're using the same blocks right here, but we're making it bigger. Yay! Now let me show you what I mean by bigger, because this is what I mean. It's not that much. Let me just enter. Right? It's not that much different. It's a bigger trunk, and it's a bigger that you can also tilt these trees. You don't have to keep them upright or anything, or do anything, honestly. Let's just grab the same blocks, and I will show you different types of trees to make later. I'm not just sticking to oak, but let's make this a little bit more tilted, you know? I think that will be enough. You don't need to go big. or small either. It's just vary. This trunk, it doesn't really matter as long as you just place the trunk. But let's just build this out, and then let's tilt it this way. So in order to tilt things, you literally just make a few stairs. And yeah, and then we can tilt it again. Where did I place that? Over there. And then we'll probably want something like here. And here. So that we can keep the consistency of the trunk. Now we have a tilting tree. Hooray! Let's detail it. So we can just place these at the bottom, and then we can also make these. We can just simply add some detail. Doesn't that just make the shape that nice, that little bit smoother? Then let's take a, oh sorry, I forgot this. Let's take some of these nearby fences, and that just gives that a little bit more detail, doesn't it? Let's get some more stairs so that we can basically make this curve a little bit more curvier. Well, now when we finish the stem, let's just do the good old same old thingy-majiggies. This time, let's just we're not gonna stay. This side is gonna have more. This side is gonna have less. If you don't know what I mean, it's essentially this side is gonna be smaller. This side is gonna be bigger because we're technically tilting this way. Which I don't know why I tilted towards my tree here. But, and then this one, since it's big enough, you can just branch it off like this. And then here, let's just, yeah. And then let's just. Now, another detail that I haven't mentioned previously is the uses of mushroom blocks. Yeah, you can just pick a little place like this and then make a little mushroom. Yeah, isn't that nice? Yay! Actually, since mushrooms are white on the stem, let's just use reuse that. Use a pale blue fence. Hooray! Now we have the shell. Same process as before. Add the walls. Sorry, I've got. This is not gonna look pretty if I have. Great, lovely. I'm just messing up my own goddamn arena that I've made. But yeah, you understand the concept. As long as you have CPS, and also if you don't have CPS, I will you click a lot, and yeah, you can make a tree really easily. Let's do the same thing. Cover this with absolute terrain. Sorry, leaves. Same process as before. Let's see. Let's do some underside here. I do recommend Axiom. You can see how much easier it is, even if I'm not using the absolute script tool here. It's still just a really useful building mod. I can put the download of Axiom in the description. And what's next after having this? Well, we spam spruce fences about. Yay! The lanterns, yay! Yay! Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Shaboom. See? Boom. Tree. Now, what's next? Oh, we still haven't done these alien leaves. Let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. 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 Let's add the grass. Boom. Alright. I overstepped my boundaries, oh well. Shit. It is what it is. Frost on the goddamn. And then you can just flutter them about if you really wanna. And boom, you have a medium oak tree. I'm not gonna teach you how to do a big one because you'll probably need Axiom for that. However, we are gonna be moving on to what is essentially spruce. Yeah, let's do spruce. Now, spruce is pretty much the same. However, let's tilt. Well, you can tilt it after you've done the stem. Or actually, you can tilt it, you can basically do, and then you can just do, like that. But bigger, you know, bigger. Not at this scale. Spruce is, we need that, and then we'll need a dark oak. This dark oak is the best thing that probably goes here. And then spruce leaves, good old 10. Now, we only need the slabs, I'm pretty sure, but it's good to have the stairs and the fences pretty much. Now, let's just make up the stem. If we want to go small, something like this, let's just, yeah, you know, boom, and then boom, and then with these type of builds, you'd essentially want a dark, you want a tippy top, since these trees have a tippy top at the very tippy top. So we'll work on that. Right now, it is not our priority. Right now, what is our priority is getting some of these slabs in. Why? Well, it sets up the shape, you know? And then it's good that these slabs are varianted, like a little bit like this, because we will be spamming a lot of leaves around. So you want it smaller towards the top. And then there's our little bases. Next, spam the leaves. You want to add as much gaps as you can, but however, in this case, it's probably going to be a little impossible. Oh lordy lord, yeah. You probably want more gaps than this, because this is atrocious so far. You want gaps. Now this is a small scale, very, very small. Let's get you the tippy top. We have that, right? Tippy top becomes this, basically. And then that's your structure section. But we forget the bones, detail, birch leaves, and green, into the build. Now you can spam the leaves a little bit better than I did, because and there's always, you can always do the little boom boom, but not too much. You don't want to destroy your gaps here. And then you can always put lanterns on them. I'm not gonna do that just for time's sake, but we're also gonna put the grass. See, it would be great if I could paint this grass a little bit. But, you know. Actually, I probably can. Let's see. We want a spruce biome. Spruce. Damn, this tiger. Let's just have it. Yeah. All right. I hope that changes the tint of it. Yeah, just barely. Let's move on to birch now. We're only gonna cover the birch, oak, and spruce, because we don't. The other ones are basically the same concept, similar to birch, right? Let's get birch. Birch is essentially the same concept as Mr. Oak over here. Instead, we use diorite. Now, the texture pack makes diorite look like this, but it looks like bird poo, right? These ones, and then just, yeah, pretty much same leaves, I guess. I mean, there's nothing stopping us. So let's do a small one. And the big one is basically just like that. You see how easy it is. You understand. It's just the same, but different, you know? Just the same, but different. Let's get some form of, yeah? And then boom, boom. If we're gonna do that, I'm gonna tilt this. Alright, we have it tilted. Let's spam. If we have it tilted, we should spam in that direction like I've said previously. Boom, boom, boom. And then we have our tree. We put the walls down. Kind of almost got a step. We have walls. Now let's spam the leaves. I've made a big mess here. What ignore it for now. Now that we've made guarded leaves. Oh my goodness, Alright, and then let's just add the parallel fences. And you can add the lanterns once again. I'm not sticking around for that. Just otherwise this video will probably be an extra like few years long. That's an exaggeration. But you know, it's the same concept over and over again, but just different palette, isn't it? It's just a different palette. And then you can do the same with dark code, I'm pretty sure. Because there's no reason not to. Look at this. Look at this. This is how they look with shaders, especially with the lanterns. I'm using Complementary Unbound, as I said in the chat. Yeah, this is how they look with shaders.